PSA, the new musical Wild Party, is outrageous. It is the sex, drugs, and rock and roll of the 20s. And every second there is constant scandal, from masturbating to a newspaper article in the local crimes to love affairs. This musical has it all.
Indeed so. Wild Party is crazy. The plot is absolutely enthralling. It begins with the introduction of Queenie, a beautiful blonde who is the it girl at the time. They show only men in the background to prove how desirable she is, but she denies them all. She only wants the most powerful man that can make her weak to the knees.
She doesn't settle for any ordinary man. Queenie falls in love with the clown-faced Mr. Burrs. Their romance is based on rough physical sex. We all know the honeymoon can't last forever, though. As the romance is dying out, Queenie and Burrs decide to throw a party in hopes to spark it up again.
The guests of the party consist of Madeline the lesbian, Eddie the thug, Maid the dimwit, Jackie the dancer, the Lover brothers Artemondio, Dolores the hooker, Nadine the miner. After a while, Kate, who is a typical troublemaker, hooker, coke addict, arrives with her guest Mr. Black, the smooth, talking outsider who falls in love with Queenie at the first sight. Together they all join in on the classic 1920s acts of drinking, drugs, and sex. Lots of sex.
Queenie starts with the party with a plan to get revenge on Burrs for raping her earlier in the show. Queenie immediately gets swooped up by Mr. Black because of his dashing good looks and his caring and protective personality. Queenie is vulnerable due to her tragic relationship with Burrs, and Mr. Black cares and pays attention to her while Burrs is busy hitting on other women.
Once Burrs realizes what is going on between Queenie and Mr. Black, he starts to feel insecure and less powerful in the relationship. He lashes out with violent threats and abusive languages, but this only pushes Queenie farther away.
Meanwhile, Kate has a plan of her own. She has always been jealous of Queenie's looks and relationship with Burrs, and when she sees that Queenie has gained affection of Black, Kate's date, she decides to seek revenge by seducing Burrs.
Wow, this is beginning to take a turn for the worst. Burrs, who is still angry with Queenie, pushes Kate away. In the meantime, Queenie and Black go off to her room, and Black confronts her about the violent ways that Burrs has been treating her.
Queenie's response to Black's confrontation is that she has grown accustomed to the violent behavior. This is an example of the reoccurring theme of how the habits we form in our past affect our future.
Wow, that's some deep stuff we're talking about. Hats off to Mr. Black getting that smooch in to complete the first act. Carrie, you ready to move on to Act 2? Because I am.
Well, I would first like to comment on the lighting of this play. I noticed that throughout the play it was dim with an orange tint to signify the relationship that is Burrs and Queenie. It is noticeable to their friends and the audience how dysfunctional their relationship is.
I agree. To add on to this, I did notice that there was blue lighting when Queenie and Black were talking to represent the somber conversation between the two. Can we move on to Act 2 already?
You don't have to be so aggressive. I'll have to start calling you Burrs.
I don't want that.
But anyway, Queenie is seen distraught in the bathroom as she is contemplating which man is more important to her. In this scene, Burrs represents her bad decisions made in the past, and Black shows the hope for her future.
Isn't it ironic his name is Black, while Queenie wears all white all the time? I guess opposites do attract. The tension between Burrs, Black, and Queenie elevate when both men try to win Queenie over. Burrs goes back to his old habits of being violent and threatens Queenie, which prompts her to leave the bathroom.
This again demonstrates how bad habits are hard to break. Once you form them, you just can't stop.
Just like Kate and her coke problems?
Exactly. You know what I love, Keon?
What, Kara?
I love that the play's music and rhythm has a strong role in capturing the mood of the play. Whenever there is an upbeat melody, and we know that nothing bad is going to happen, like in the song A Wild Wild Party. And when the melody is dark and ominous, like in the song Let Me Drown, it really expresses how Burrs is emotionally attached to Queenie. And even though he's kind of a jerk, we still feel bad for him.
Girls do have a sympathetic heart. I, on the other hand, don't understand how any man can respect the beautiful, elegant Queenie. But that's just me.
All right, Keon, we all know you have a crush on Queenie.
Oh, stop it. But I am pretty jealous that Black was able to hit a home run with Queenie, if you know what I mean.
Rolling my eyes. Really? Because that led to Burrs getting angry and pulling a gun, threatening to kill Black and himself. And then, because Black ended up accidentally shooting Burrs by protecting himself, Queenie ended up all alone.
You're right. The song How Did We Come to This really had an impact on the show. It just goes to show that decisions and habits we make now will affect us in the future, and we should make sure to not always be stuck in a wild, wild party.